everyone, welcome to this video. I'm super excited to share with you an amazing experiment, a crazy experiment. It's all about removing my website from Google. So I'll need some stuff to help me be prepared for what's coming. Let's go. First of all, what am I doing? I'm disabling crawling from my website on Google. It means that Google will not be able to recrawl the pages that it already crawled on my website, so it will not be able to see the content there. And if you are already a technical SEO, you know that removing of my website from Google is a little bit of an exaggeration, because in most of the cases, Google might not remove the pages that have already been indexed, because crawling and indexing are completely different things. I have a whole video about that on my channel, so check it out afterwards. But first, I really wanted to share with you why I think this experiment is crazy. Well, first of all, I'm going to disable crawling for my main established website, marketingsyrup.com. It has a very popular SEO Pro extension that many people love and many people are searching for, and they land on my website for that. Then there are also checklists, like for example, technical SEO audit checklists that people love too, and they are searching for, and my website is one of the drivers for these leads. And also I have blog, and I don't renew it often, but there are some blog posts that are pretty popular. Overall, this website has not been reviewed for a while, but it still drives traffic. I really wanted to share with you some hypotheses that I have in terms of this experiment before I start doing anything. So the first hypothesis is that most of the pages will stay indexed even after I disable crawling. And that makes sense, because disable crawling of the website does not automatically remove the pages from index. But the second hypothesis is that the pages will slowly lose rankings. And it's not about removing these pages from the index, it's mostly because of deprioritizing those pages from the search results. Why? Because Google once visited the pages, crawled and indexed them, and could see all the content. So that based on that information that Google acquired a while ago when it was last visiting my website, it could see that, okay, this page is optimized, so it's worth it ranking high. But now, when Google will not be able to see the content on my pages because the crawling will be disabled, well, Google might deprioritize most of the pages in the search results. The next hypothesis is that most of the pages that will still stay in the index will have no information available meta descriptions. I hate those meta descriptions, but it is what it is. And if we see them, then it's a good sign for this experiment. And the fourth hypothesis is that it will take me about 2 weeks to get back up after re-enabling crawling. So I disable crawling, then I'll see the results, and then I'll re-enable it and see how long it will take for the website to get the rankings back. So before I start, let's see some of the benchmarks before. First of all, the website is allowed in robust TXT, so you can see it, everything is fine. Then this is the traffic, and I'm very transparent in this video. And as I said, I'm not updating the website very often, so it is what it is, but it gets about 20,000 visitors on average monthly. So you see that the traffic has been pretty stable, more or less. And then here's the information from Google Search Console. You can see it as well, that the traffic is pretty stable for the past 3 months. And I also used C-Ranking, shout out to them, for tracking some of my keywords. I thought that it would be really interesting for this experiment. Let me just reload it to see if... Okay, someone's still updating. No worries, we still have data. I'm tracking 15 keywords in Google Canada and 15 keywords in Google US. So you see that the average position is 2, and the keywords are actually pretty different. Most of them have traffic, but I really wanted to focus on the keywords that are more specific to my website versus pretty general. So for example, domain migration checklist, this is something that people are still looking for on my website. How to set up event tracking in Google Analytics. And I also used my name here as to see if any other website replace the search result. I'm really curious what's going to happen here. Marketing Syrup SEO extension. So yeah, these are the keywords that I'm tracking, and I'm willing to see the changes once I disable crawling. Another thing that I want to see is how many pages currently are indexed for marketingsyrup.com. And I can see that there are 232 pages. Okay, so I'll be curious if this number changes. Then let's say I want to look up my name here. So I see knowledge panel, awesome, but then I see that the first result in organic search is actually marketingsyrup.com. So I'm curious to see whether it changes, whether it's going to be switched for anything else, or whether the meta description will just change that there is no information. And then the last bit that I want to check is the SEO Pro extension. The first result is Google Extensions Store, and the second result is my website. This is one of the most popular pages on my website, so that's why I'm super interested in it. Okay, so let's disable crawling for my website. I'm going to go to my robots.txt file and then just disable all access. I'm saving my robots.txt file, and just in a moment, we'll see what's going on. So, okay, what I'm going to check now is the current robots.txt. You see that it says disallow, which means the crawling of the whole website is disallowed. Okay, let's test this. It says disallowed. Let's test, I don't know, let it be ebook. And then test, and it's disallowed again. Okay, in this case, that's exactly what I was looking for. Let's also check results here. So the SEO Pro extension, let's just see what's going on here. URL is on Google. That what was before I did the experiment. So it was last crawled on October 4th, 2023. Okay, because then crawling was allowed. Let me test the live URL and see what's going on. URL is not available to Google because it's blocked by robots.txt, and obviously fetch failed. And if I go to the website, I will see here that if I click to robots.txt, oopsie, it's disabled. Okay, so what I can do, I can also check the main page, retrieving data, and then testing live URL again for the main page. The home page is disabled for crawling as well. So it's done. I'm not sure why I'm so happy because it just disabled crawling from my website, but I'll be seeing the updates over time and you'll see them in the rest of this video. I'm super excited. 1 week has passed. Let's see what's going on with the experiment. I got this notification from Google Search Console that there are new reasons preventing my pages from being indexed through blocked by robots.txt and blocked by robots.txt. So let's see the indexing report. So blocked by robots.txt. I see that there are 4 pages now, and honestly, this page is even no indexed, and these pages, oh well, I mean, there are so many more pages that are actually blocked by robots.txt, but Google picked up for random ones. Okay, let's just see what's going on with the search results. What's interesting is that there is no decrease in traffic. There is a little bit decrease of impressions, but not that much. As I predicted, the decrease is going to be steady, but even now it's not that visible, which is interesting. Then let's check by page. Here's a page and nothing has changed here. It's one of my main pages. Then I want to see the number of indexed pages. And the number of indexed pages has not decreased either. So it used to be 127, 128, and now it's 127. So it's not significant either. And this one page might be for some other reasons. So again, no huge decline in the index pages. But what's interesting, if I go to crawl stats for the website, go open report and then marketing syrup, I see a very evident decline in the crawl stats, which makes total sense because now Google can't crawl the website. It used to be around 200 and 200 plus total crawl requests per day, and now it's 0 or 1. So well, the difference is pretty huge here. Then I want to look at the analytics. If I look at the analytics, I see no difference whatsoever. So it means that Google is still sending the traffic to my website, even though the website is not being crawled. I want to check what's going on with my branded search. The first thing I noticed is that Christina Zarenko on Twitter is the first result, and then LinkedIn. Interesting, because there used to be my main page from the Marketing Syrup website, and now it's replaced with my social media, Twitter and LinkedIn. And then there is Marketing Syrup page, but it's replaced with the About page instead of the main page. That's a difference right here. And with the SEO Pro extension, nothing has actually changed. Still, Google Chrome Store is ranking in the first, and then I'm ranking in the second position. Let's see the changes in the keywords. I see that there are some pages that are declining in traffic, but some pages that are actually growing. There are no huge declines here. And I find that in the US market, the declines are bigger. Domain migration checklist, there were no stats for this, and it was 9th, and now it's 11th. Then it was 8th. Okay, so what's interesting is that, that's hilarious. Verified domain ownership via DNS record, it used to be 5th, and now it showed as 1st, even though the page is disallowed in robots.txt. Interesting. What can I say here? It's interesting that Marketing Syrup website is ranking and it's performing really well in the search results. But why? Why is it still performing really well? There are two reasons. The first reason is that the website was pretty consistent in the search results and gained a lot of trust over the course of its existence. So in this case, it makes sense that just a week is not enough for the website to be fully removed from the Google search results. Plus, I think there is a lot of Google goodwill and trust that Google is imposing on the website. We'll see what will happen next in a couple of weeks. I'm very curious. Are you? 2 weeks later, I still see that Google is loving my website. The performance is not down. It's actually a little bit up, which was really interesting to me. So there are more clicks now. And let me see. So I disabled crawling on October 5th, and today is October 18th, but this information is for October 17th. So I was really curious what's going on here. And if I compare, let's say, last 7 days, what happens is that I'll see this influx in clicks, and I don't see anything very peculiar here. Some of the searches got more clicks than they would usually do. But what's interesting is that, let me just go back to this view, let's say last 8 days. I disabled crawling here and still nothing. Yeah, Google must be loving my website so much. So it's 53 days since I started the experiment. Honestly, I expected it to finish so much faster, but here we go. Let's see how things have changed. I am super excited to dig deeper in what's going on. Let's start with the performance report. Just a reminder that I started my experiment on October 5th. Okay, that's August. So it was somewhere here. I don't know about you, but I actually don't see a huge difference here. Well, although it's starting to be visible here. So what I'm going to do, I am going to compare, let's say 3 months to 3 months, and then we'll see what's going on. So yeah, obviously there is some decline visible, and let me see impressions difference. Yeah, this is not actually very relevant. I'm not offering SEO for e-commerce anymore. It seems that most of the things that started showing up are actually not really relevant. Site indexing, website indexing, Azarenko, okay. SEO navigation. Yeah, so these things have not been ranking at all in general. So this one is interesting. SEO Pro extension. This is the first thing that is actually relevant that lost some impressions and clicks. I don't want this to happen, but it is what it is. This is the experiment. Let's go with the clicks difference. And that's actually positive. Okay, let's go with the negative one. SEO Pro extension, negative, marketing SEO Pro extension. So I see that these two things are about extension. This is about one of my blog posts, and this is the same blog post. My branded search, extension again. So most of the things are my main pages, which is the extension, my brand search, which lands on the homepage, and also domain verification via Google Search Console. So these are the main losers. It makes sense that they lost some impressions and clicks. Let's then check indexed pages. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's dig deeper. So the number of not indexed pages has increased, and I can see that it has been increasing since November 11th. Okay, so that's what I wanted to see. Blocked by Robust60. Amazing. Is it okay that I'm happy about that? Honestly, I was looking at this experiment and hoping that I'll see so many drastic changes, but it didn't happen. So let's go here. Blocked by Robust60. Experiment started on October 5th, and I started seeing these alerts on October 7th, and you can see that they were gradually growing. And now, at the end of November, I can see that the number of affected pages has really gone up. These are really weird things. UTMs. I can see that some of the pages that are actually currently on my website and I want them to be indexed. Like, for example, this one needs to be indexed. Wow, so many. Okay, I'll need to look into this after this video. I can see that the amount of pages that are blocked by Robust60 is increasing, which is good. For this experiment, it is good. But let's get back here. What's interesting is that the amount of pages blocked by Robust60 has increased, but the amount of indexed pages has not decreased, which is super interesting. They also have indexed, though blocked by Robust60, and that expected because disallowing crawling doesn't remove pages from indexing. So obviously Google is like, okay, this page is blocked by Robust60, but it's still indexed. Well, that's because it was indexed before I blocked it in Robust60, and that's the right thing that they're showing it. Honestly, I think it's interesting. So when I started doing this video, Robust60 tester tool was still available in the legacy tools. Now Google is sunsetting it, but they added a new thing. They added Robust60 here. I can see that Robust60 is here. It is fetched. What's interesting, even though the whole website is disallowed for crawling, Google will not, at least here in this report, Google will not flag it as there is something wrong with the Robust60, because Robust60 is right. It's just disallowing crawling of the website. So you do not need to expect that Google will send you alerts here, but as you could see, it sends alerts in other places. Let's also go to crawl stats. October 5th, exactly when I started my experiment. And now see what's going on. I used to have almost 100 requests per day and sometimes over 200. And now it's 11011. Oh, interesting. 11 and then 5, 4. And then what's interesting, crawl requests, when a page is requested and it returns HTTP status code 200, it means that the page is available. This report of crawl requests for the pages that return 200 HTTP status code response mimics the crawling stats. This report mimics the main crawling report as well, because obviously Google can't refresh the content on the pages because it can't see this content. Let's go to analytics. I already sorted out from September 1st to November 27th. I wanted to show more timeline before I started the experiment and only include things from Google. And as you can see, there is no clear decrease. Then I want to check the search results for my brand name, which is going to be my main. And as far as I remember, my marketing SEO website used to be the first or second, and now it actually shows LinkedIn first, and then Twitter, and then marketing SEO website. And by the way, it also removed my favicon from everywhere. Let's check SEO Pro extension. Still, Google Chrome Store is the first one, and then marketing syrup, but again, without any favicon. I'm using C ranking here to track keyword positions because I really wanted to see the dynamics. And let's see. So from October to 27th of November, I can see that there are no many movements. The main one would be how to verify ownership Google Search Console. So that would be the main movement when it comes to Canada. And in the US, I also see that domain migration checklist is down, and it used to be one of the really great keywords that I was ranking for. This keyword is down as well. It's now 20, which was 17, 15, okay. But it was down all the way to 23, so this is the third page of the search results. And when I was starting the experiment, it was on the 8th or 7th position. So this is down too. One thing that I didn't note here, I started getting the alerts for video indexing. I have a couple of blog posts with videos on them. And Google started sending me that videos are not indexed. Okay, some of the videos are indexed, but the videos that are not indexed are increasing. And let's see, video outside the viewpoint. It means that CSS is not being seen by Google. It means that the page is not mobile friendly and the video outside of viewpoint. Why it happens? This is my current robots.txt. No CSS or JavaScript file can be crawled by Google. Google can't render the page and see what's going on there, which gets me to the point that sometimes the pages might be seen not mobile friendly when they are, but Google will not see this because CSS is not available. So that's why I guess I get this alerts from my videos. Let me also see what are the differences in video. Ooh, let me just do 6 months. That's super interesting. There was some traction with videos, and who would have thought, starting in October, it all died out. And I assume it's just because the crawling experiment, honestly. That would be my best assumption. What else I wanted to check? How many pages Google says that I have indexed here? 185. It seems that there are more pages indexed than before I started, as far as I remember from my initial experiment. Also, what I can see that all descriptions of the pages are fine. They don't say that the page is not available because of something. Usually it says the description is not available and learn why here, and then it says that the website is disallowed in robots.txt. So I'm just wondering whether it's still the case that Google would show this. I don't know, but I can't see. Oh, okay. Some of the pages actually have this. So no information is available for this page. Some of the pages would have this information and some would not. For example, this page is actually one of it's a normal page that should return 200 HTTP status code. Yes, exactly. So I can see that no information available for this page is actually true for some of the pages, but not for others. I would assume that if I left this experiment for long enough, maybe 6 to 6 months, I think most of the pages would have this description instead. But currently, only a couple of them do. That was one of my hypotheses, and it's half true. Now it's time to re-enable crawling and see how much time it will take Google to figure everything out and to get back all the traffic to normal. Let's see. Honestly, I just couldn't wait. Save. Amazing. Now it's time to check whether it's working. Let's go here and then robust.txt. It is working. Yes, it was disallow everything, and now it's a normal robust.txt. I just added a GPT bot. Here we go. Till the next update. Ooh, let's see what's going on with the experiment 10 days after I re-enabled crawling. First of all, I would say that Google Search Console is still sending me lots of different notifications, and see the results are blocked by robust.txt, index though blocked by robust.txt, and page with redirect. Obviously, Google Search Console is confused about what's going on. So let's open the report and see. I re-enabled crawling on November 27th. It was here. You see that the number of pages that are not indexed is growing, which is interesting. So let's dig deeper into these pages. And I started my experiment somewhere here. It took a good while for Google to start noticing this, and then only in the middle of November, so more than 1 month later, Google started picking this up. So you can see that there is an upper trend blocked by robust.txt. And I can see that there was an upper trend till November 24th, 26th, 7th. That's where I re-enabled the crawling. And then you see it's going down slowly. And then another thing that is going on, indexed though blocked by robust.txt. And you will always see this when you block the whole website from crawling, and then some of the pages, like obviously the pages that were indexed, are not going to be de-indexed at all, or right away at least. I can see that starting from October 7th, it took Google 2 days to pick this up, and then it is building up, and after December 4th, so again, this is 27th where I re-enabled crawling, and then slowly it changes. When I was re-enabling crawling, I didn't want to notify Google. I wanted to see how much time it will take for Google to figure it out by itself. Crawled, currently not indexed. Some of the pages have been able to be crawled now after I re-enabled crawling, but they're not indexed just yet. Last time I also mentioned that there was a decrease in video impressions and clicks. It has not returned to the pre-experiment part yet, so we'll see how long it will take. And I also mentioned previously in the video that the pages that were marked as indexed in Google Search Console after I started my experiment, I downloaded the indexed pages from Google Search Console before the experiment and then after the experiment. And these are the pages, the new pages that Google marked as kind of indexed. And when I say indexed, they were here. So they were marked as indexed here. And it's interesting because you can see it was pretty the same all over the way. And then I disabled crawling and the number of indexed pages started growing. And I was really curious about that because I did not expect this to happen. Also, I did not expect that these pages are going to be great pages on the website because obviously all the pages that I intended to index were already indexed. But what are these pages? What is this discrepancy? And you can see that after I re-enabled crawling, the number of indexed pages has decreased. So 133, and then it was 128. So almost to the amount of pages pre-experiment. Let's see what these pages are. These are author pages, category pages, tag pages, and also the www page, which redirects. And you can see I put here the status of these pages. So some are redirecting and some are no indexed. Surprise, surprise. So basically when Google can crawl a page, it can see no index tag, which is obviously we all know. But what was really surprising is that some of these pages are actually started being indexed. And I was so curious and I checked the category pages and I checked if they had any impressions on Google, and they did. So that was super interesting. I'll also show you the query in a second. But this is the category And if I check back 12 months instead of 3 months, I can see that these impressions happened only during my experiment. So it gives me a clue that this page was kind of added to Google's index, even though it was no indexed, but it was added to the index just because Google can't see the no index tag because crawling was disabled. So here we go. That was super interesting. And queries are, let's see. So yeah, sitemarketingsyrup.com. I think that was me checking the number of pages for this query in the previous videos. So nothing bad happened. It's just me, but it was such an interesting thing to observe. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Another thing that I noticed is that the average position changed and the average CTR kind of changed, but impressions and clicks almost plummeted for the homepage, which is interesting. I didn't notice it before, so that's why I wanted to address it in this video. Let's see. So starting from October 10th, which makes sense, the impressions of the main page drastically decreased, And let me see, maybe I can compare, let's say 28 days. I know it's not exactly the timelines, but I just wanted to check it anyway. Impressions difference, syrup marketing syrup. Then let's say clicks, marketing syrup marketing. So these might not necessarily be exactly up to my lane, but it was just interesting to observe this difference, this dip in impressions and clicks. See what I'm doing for you doing this crazy experiment. Let's move on to the crawl stats. Remember I mentioned that I enabled crawling on November 27th. And that's exactly what is reflected here, right? So once I re-enabled crawling, it feels like I opened the gates for Googlebot to just go and crawl everything. Because before the experiment, you see that there were 200-ish requests per day. And then on 27th, it was 680. So it's more than 3 times more than usually. And now it looks like it's getting back to normal. What the next thing that we want to check? This is the overall performance. I can see that it's starting to go down here a little bit. Now it's much easier to observe it. So see, it kind of decreased a little bit, but I still don't see a drastic decrease, right? That's where I re-enabled crawling, and I can see already that the trend is picking up. So then the amount of impressions and clicks is picking up, which is good. Let's check our positions. What changed after 27th of November? Interesting. So that's what happened with my experiment. Then at the end of November, beginning of December, the positions grew, and then they fell again, and then they grew a little bit again, then they fell. So I think it's going to be back and forth for a while. This was the keyword that lost the most, how to verify ownership Google Search Console. So you see it used to be on the position 5, and after the experiment, it's November 5th. Anyway, it was still high, and then it kind of went to the second page, and then see, I re-enabled crawling here, and then a few days later, the position changed from 15th to 7th. So that's how you rank website. Just make sure that crawling is enabled. I'm kidding, but that's funny. It was for Canada. For the US, I re-enabled crawling here, and then the positions just increased. Let's see what happens here. So it was moved to to the third page even. It used to be even higher because it's November 5th, but it used to be even higher. And then almost a month later, Google decided, no, this page does not deserve to be really high. So it moved it to the second page, and then to the third page of the search results, and then to the second page again. And then Okay, then the page kind of like moving slowly up, and I can see that it's going up and down still. So my ideal scenario here would be even to update the page, to make the page even better. I think it will shoot the page right to the top of the search results. And then there are no drastic changes here. Let me check the search results for the whole time of my experiment. That's what it looks like for the whole time of my experiment in Google Canada. And that's what it looks like in the US. It's interesting that in the US search results, there are less volatility. That's what I see here. In Google Canada, Google is like, I don't care. I really don't want you to be in the top. And then in the US is different. I would say it's a little bit unexpected to me just because I think the US search results might be more competitive. The next thing that I want to check is traffic. Let's do from September so that we see more information here. The overall statistics. And this is one of the main pages. Let's see how it... Oh, yes, that is really interesting. So, see what I'm doing for you. The experiment started here. And then on November 7th, this dip happened. And see what's interesting? Once I re-enabled crawling, see, the page went back again. And that's exactly matches the information in Google Search Console, but this is interesting from the analytics perspective. And then let's actually check the main page. Oh, interesting. So no real big dip here. Then I'm super curious about the SEO Pro extension page. See, no big decrease here. The SEO Pro extension and my homepage are not very competitive because these are basically my products, but this is a general article that obviously has lots of competitors. So that's why it makes sense that this dip is happening here. Obviously, if I were checking rankings for something even more competitive and more searched, I think the results will be much faster and the page will just be moved much faster to page 2 or 3 of Google search results, or even removed from the Google search results. And one last thing that I wanted to show is going to be the search results. Oh, I'm using caps lock. I'm not yelling, I promise. What I see here is that now LinkedIn is ranking first, okay, but then my website is ranking second. So it is up again. Plus, as you can see, the favicon is back. Check SEO Pro extension. Google Chrome Store is ranking higher, but then this is my extension and this is one of the pages on my website. There are not so many things that are left to say here. I think this is just a very interesting experiment. Here we are, more than 2 months later after I started the experiment. I even celebrated my birthday already. That's insane. I thought that the experiment will take 1 month max, but it took me 2 months to do all of this and to do all the updates and everything. That's insane. So obviously I thought that Google will pick up all the changes much faster and Google will be more strict for my website, but it didn't happen. So let's also check the hypothesis. The first hypothesis was that most of the pages will stay indexed by Google, but Google will decrease the positions. I would say that is partially true. That is true that most of the pages stayed indexed, but then I would expect much drastic decrease in positions. The second hypothesis was that the pages will slowly lose rankings. I marked it as partially true as well, just because some of the pages did lose rankings, some of the pages didn't. So it was so funny to see one of the pages to actually climb on top of the search results and then being removed to page 2 or 3 of Google search results. But even with disabled crawling, the page would still go up. To be fair, I don't think that it would be possible for really competitive searches. I think with the competitive searches, all the results of the experiment would be much faster and I would see much more drastic changes, but I would still mark it as partially true. The next hypothesis is that there will be no information available in meta descriptions. I also marked it as partially true because you saw that there were some pages that had this meta descriptions, but most of the pages didn't. So I think it will be more evident for the website if the website was just released and then most of the pages would have this meta descriptions. But since Google already had some information about my website, it decided to not replace the meta descriptions with just no information available. And the biggest changes also with this experiment is that the favicon was removed. I did not expect that. I just didn't think about that at all, about the favicon. But it was interesting to see that the favicon disappeared. The next thing is that negative video search performance appeared. I didn't think about videos either, to be honest, because I do not rely on videos a lot, but some of my pages do have videos. So I noticed that the performance of the video results was so much worse during this experiment than the regular text search results, right? So it was interesting to me. And as you saw, the video performance hasn't picked up yet, even after I re-enabled the crawling. I think it will take some more time for video performance to get back. And the most unexpected change, honestly, this is mind-blowing and this is mind-boggling, honestly, because apparently some of the pages got indexed, even though they have no index tags. I already explained in the video, so I'm not going to talk about this again, but that was very unexpected for me. I can't believe this is the end of this video, and thank you so much for watching till the end. And I know technical SEO can be intimidating, can be complicated, especially when you don't know different parts of technical SEO, right? So that's why I have really good news for you. I have Tech SEO Pro quiz. It is a free quiz that way you can test your technical SEO knowledge and see where you're at. That's it. It's your turn to go to Tech SEO Pro/quiz and then take the quiz. That's it. I'm wrapping things up. Oh, that was fun. Can't see this glasses. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. Are you still here? Take the quiz. Quiz. Bye. I mean, seriously, what are you doing here? The video ended. So now, just take the quiz